So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Robert. This is your first time tuning in. So in today's video, we're going to cover a realistic approach to living a work optional lifestyle. So what does that mean? Putting yourself in a position where you can choose to work if you want to, but you don't have to. Your back's not against the wall to stay employed. God forbid something happens and you get fired. Most people will be scrambling just to get the next job. Maybe they have to settle for a lower pay, maybe you have to settle for a lower quality job. Whatever it is, it's not a good position to be negotiating your price as an employee. So this way, hopefully you can put yourself in a good position to where if anything does happen, you're in a good position to negotiate for a better pay or for a better job. Nobody wants to be in a position where they don't have any say. They just got to take whatever they can get because they got bills coming around in a couple days. So some of these things are things that I used as well. Some of these are things that I use, and then moving forward, things that I'm doing now as well. So there's a couple different ways to get there, but again, some are a little bit safer than others. Some involve more risk, but anytime you're investing any kind of money, it always involves risk. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I am not your financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, but just financial opinions on this channel. So obviously you're gonna have to get a job at some point. So getting a job is probably the easiest way to go about it. And for me personally, I would just jump from job to job just to get to where I was making at least six figures or more, which coming out of college is, it's hard to do because everybody wants experience. Everybody wants somebody who already has experience, but how are you expected to get experience if you just got out of college? Somebody has to give you a break, right? So eventually I got somebody who gave me a break while I was still in college. And then from there, I just used that experience to get my next job. And then now I had two pieces of experience to get my next job. And to eventually, after jumping for a couple months, I got a job making, six figures, good money, by today's standards, still today. So once I was able to make that kind of money, I was now investing it. I was in a position where I could invest most of that money. First thing I started doing was investing into real estate. Now, if you're in a position where you don't have a super high paying job, the first thing I would do is probably just start saving money. I would just start saving money till you get your first down payment for a home. Now, there's different ways you can go about it. You can actually go and buy your first home through an FHA loan, live in it for a year. After a year, you can move out of it and start renting it out. So now you're gonna have extra income every single month coming in. So now you're one step closer to being able to leave your job, or you're being less dependent on your employer. So either way, it still works out great, it still works out fine. Now you can do this again, go buy another house, live in it for a year, rent it out. You can do that as well. Or you can actually invest it. You can invest into some higher risk things like cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency can 20x to 100x generally if you catch a bull run. So say you put $10,000 in there, a 10x from there is what, 10,000 is 100,000. So $100,000 you can go out and put down maybe 20% on some really strong rental properties, depending on your market, right? At least generally five rental properties, maybe three to five rental properties, again depending on your market. And now you have three different houses or five different houses. Either way, you have 3 to 5 different incomes coming in every single month on top of your job. Riskier play, but if it does work out for you, now you're in a better position. So those are two different ways to go about it. Now you could also just put your money into a stock market. Stock market is a little bit of a slower game, but generally speaking, it's quote unquote safer for most people. And it's something that most people are more aware of and feel more comfortable doing because it's been around for so long. Versus like cryptocurrency, it's relatively new, maybe 15 years old, give or take a few years. It's still relatively new, so people are still skeptical and scared to invest in it. But That's where the potential is, because it is so new. It still has a lot of room to grow. So again, take your pick. Do you want to be more risky with it or not? Now, with going back to the real estate, the reason the real estate's great is because it gives you income every single month. But now you feel like you're not so dependent on your job. You feel stronger, you feel more confident. You feel like you're in a good position. If something was to happen, the business goes out, you get fired, whatever, you're in a good position to move forward and not be, worrying the next day or two. You're fine, you have money still coming in. Now again, if you're living below your means, if you're not living below your means, well, you're still going to be in a very difficult position. The last thing you want to do is maintain your job, go and get rental properties, and now you've basically doubled your income, right? Hypothetically, you doubled your income, and now you doubled your lifestyle as well. You don't want to do that, because you still have 50% of your income coming in from your employment, which is risky for a lot of people, because specifically here, us in the South, we depend on oil for most of our jobs out here. So if the oil starts to tank, a lot of people lose their jobs. And if you're in the oil industry, for instance, and you have 50% of your income coming from this and 50% coming from rentals or investments, that's a heavy amount that you're relying on, well, basically oil prices for your job. It's a little bit risky. Now again, taking it back to some things that I did the real estate route. I felt more comfortable with the real estate. I felt, like I said, comfortable because I had something tangible that I could actually hold on to, that I could physically see. And then I started learning more about real estate. I started learning that you can add value. You can do little upgrades to increase the value, to get it appraised higher. The rents keep up with inflation. You have money coming in every single month. There was a lot of pros that I saw with real estate while still having a job that made me feel more secure. So that's the reason I went that route. Then as I started making money, I started investing into more riskier assets and different things. But prior to that, I mainly did it with real estate. Real estate gave me the option to work and to not to work. Now, if you want to take it a step further, once you get the real estate, you have a tenant in there, you do some upgrades to the house, you increase the price of the house or the value of the house. Now you can go out and do a cash out refinance, and you have your tenant paying your loan while you have cash in your hands or cash in your pockets to do whatever you want with it. You want to go on vacation? Cool. You want to go and reinvest it? Cool. But you have the option to do that, and you're basically just pulling back all your money that you put into that house, which is what most people do, and that's how they kind of move forward with so many houses. A lot of people wonder, how do they do it? That's one way they do it. There are other ways, but that's one way most people do it. That's the most common way people do it. They add value to the house, then they go around and take out a loan against the house, pull equity out of the house, and then they go buy another one, or they fund it to live. They fund their lifestyle off of these loans, basically, because they're also tax-free as well. You can pull the money out of the property tax-free, and now you can use it to whatever to your heart's desire. If you want to go make more money with it, cool. If you don't, up to you. But that's a realistic way to get out of being forced to go to work every day. And one thing I did notice when I started doing this is that work slightly started to get more enjoyable, because I wasn't so stressed. My job wasn't really that great anyway, but it paid well, it just wasn't that great. But I felt myself happier inside, because God forbid something happens, I'm in a good position. I'm in a good place where I'm not going to be crying in the corner tomorrow, because I still have money coming in, and I lived well below my means. So I probably could have done even more, to be honest with you. Could have lived even lower below my means, but I was still living below my means considering what I was bringing in. And a very small percentage of my income was actually relying on my employment. So I was in a really good position. I was in a position where I could have gotten a low paying job. God forbid I need to go find a job. I could go get a very low paying job and still be paying my bills just fine. Maybe even a part-time job, still be fine paying all my bills, because I had the income from the real estate. So it gave me a little bit more peace inside, knowing that, you know, I kind of secured myself in a pretty good spot, in a pretty good spot to negotiate as well. And, you know, I could also wait to go find another job because I still have income coming in and I still had money saved. So again, that's just how I did it. And, you know, now I can live a work optional lifestyle. I can continue to work if I want to add more money, which is cool. You know, I can also do that. It gives me time to make YouTube videos. Or I could choose to not work at all. It's kind of up to me at this point. But since I am still young, I still work just differently. So not just vacationing in the Bahamas just yet. I'm not there yet either. So but yeah, if you gained any value from this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, be careful, be good, take care, God bless. See you guys later. Bye-bye.